Hey, how's it going? This is Darrin Goodman from GuitarControl.com bringing you this video lesson. Today I want to go over, this was a lesson request that I had received on how to tune your guitar without using a tuner. Now everybody now is using these clip-on tuners. I use one myself. They're awesome. Would have been really cool to have something like that, you know, back when I started. But anyway, I learned how to tune without the use of a tuner, and as a general rule, I do use a tuner, but I believe that learning how to tune without the tuner is important. One, it's going to be good ear training, to train your ear, you know, to be able to hear, you know, if your guitar is, you know, I mean, you can probably tell your guitar is out of tune, but to be able to tune it without the tuner, and then it's going to kind of train your ear to be more precise with hearing pitches and stuff. So there's two methods that we're going to go over on tuning by ear. So be sure to click on the link in the description for the tabs, and let's get close up and take a look. All right, so the first method that we're going to use, we're going to tune the pitches just by playing fretting notes and then playing them against open strings, so that way you can match the pitches together. So the if your guitar is like really out of tune, I mean, like if it's like totally just whack out of tune, then you're going to want to have something to get like your low E string, your 6th string, in tune before you start, you know, something to match that too. But if you don't have anything to match it to, you know, like a pitch pipe or, you know, another guitar or anything like that, what you can simply do is just assume that that string is, you know, in tune, or if you determine that that's the string that's out of tune and the other ones sound good, then, you know, tune it to the other strings. But let's just say that it's just, you know, like normal, and your guitar is just a little bit out of tune, and you just kind of need to fix it so you can play, you know, practice. So if we just assume that our 6th string is in tune, or we're going to tune the guitar to it, so in other words, we may end up being, well, we're not exactly, you know, tuned to A440. You know, we might be slightly flat or slightly sharp, but the guitar will be in tune to itself, so when you play chords and stuff, that it will sound good. All right, so the 6th string open is an E, and we're just going to assume that is in tune or close enough, and then we're going to tune the 5th string based off of the pitch from the 6th string. So the 5th string open is an A. So if we go to the 5th fret on the 6th string, that is also an A. So what we want to do is have it so this A matches that A. And that sounds like that's pretty close right now. But I'm going to go ahead and just untune the string a little bit, so, you know, we can so I can show you how you do this. So when you hear this sound, obviously that's obviously not in tune. So now what we're going to do is we're going to tune the 5th string so when it's open is the same pitch as the 6th string at the 5th fret. Now, can you hear when I play those two pitches that kind of wah 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 sound? It's the sound, you know, just the sound wave bouncing back and forth. It's pretty fast. Da 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 da. Now, the closer that you get, the slower that wave will sound. So I'm going to just assume that the string is a little bit flat, so I'm going to tune up first. Now, you probably have heard the whole, you know, the saying of righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. On a guitar tuner, it's backwards. So when you are raising the pitch of the string, you're going to turn the tuner counterclockwise. If you were lowering the pitch, you would turn it clockwise. So I'm going to go go ahead and give that a little bit of a turn, and you don't need to turn it a lot. I mean, just like turn it like an eighth of a turn. If you're, when you're tuning, if you're having to really crank your tuners one way or another like a lot, you're probably doing something wrong, or your guitar is just massively out of tune. You know, maybe you have a little kid in your house. They seem to be drawn to want to twist the tuners. So I'm going to give that a little bit of a turn, and now check it. You can hear that the little pulsation has gotten slower. So I know I'm getting closer. So I'm going to give it just a little bit more. That sounds pretty good. Now, if you overshoot it, so I'm going to turn it just a little bit higher so I know it's sharp. All of a sudden, instantly, the pulsation is really fast because we're above. So I'm going to have to come back down. All right, that sounds good again. But I'm going to take it one step further, is that I'm going to turn it a little bit. I'm going to go tune it so it's a little flat and then come back up. It's always best to tune by raising the pitch and not lowering it. The reason is because the gear inside the tuner, when you're loosening it, it'll have a little bit of what they call gear lash in there, and so it can cause it to slip and go out of tune. So if you're putting tension on the string, it will stay in tune better. Alright, so I think we're good there. Now, simply to tune the fourth string now, we're going to do the same thing. Now we're going to go to the 5th fret of the 5th string, which is a D, and the 4th string open is a D. So that sounds good. Now we're going to go to the 5th fret of the 4th string, which is a G, and the 3rd string open is a G. So I can hear that's not in tune. You can hear the little pulsation, the little wah, 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 wah. So I'm going to give it a little bit, about an eighth of a turn, counterclockwise to raise the pitch. Now you can hear it's really slow. Wah, wah, wah. We want to raise it just a little bit more, so I'm just barely going to give that 3rd string just a little bit more tension. And there we go. Now, when we move to the 3rd string to tune the 2nd string, instead of being at the 5th fret, we have to move down 1 fret to the 4th fret, which is a G, or excuse me, is a B on the 3rd string. That's a B, and the 2nd string open is also a B. And then when we go to tune the 1st string, we're going to go back up to the 5th fret of the 2nd string, which is a E, and the 1st string open is an E. Sounds like it's just a little bit flat, so I'm just going to give it just a little bit of a turn. There we go, I think we've got it. And then when I'm done, I always just end up playing like a G, like an open G, and an open D chord, just to kind of get an idea, you know, how it sounds, and see if that sounds good. All right, so now the next one we're going to look at is we're going to tune with using natural harmonics. Now, there is a lot of debate as to whether or not this is an accurate way to tune the guitar. I'm not going to get into all of that. You know, all I know is that I've been tuning my guitar this way like pretty much as long as I've been playing, and if the intonation on your guitar is set up correctly, this is a pretty accurate way to tune. So again, just like before, we're just going to assume that the 6th string is in tune, or, you know, it's close enough, what we're gonna go off of. Now, going to do a natural harmonic on the 5th fret of the 6th string, and we're going to match that to a natural harmonic on the 7th fret of the 5th string. So if you don't know how to do a natural harmonic, you place your finger directly over the fret wire itself at the 7th fret, and you don't press down, you just touch the string. So I'm gonna pick, and then you just lift your finger off. If you don't lift your finger off, it's just muted. If you do it too quick, you just get the open string. It takes a little bit of practice to kind of get this down, you know, to find that sweet spot for grabbing that harmonic. So anyhow, I play the 5th fret of the 6th string, and then I do the 7th fret of the 5th string. And that should be the same pitch. So I'm going to go ahead and detune my 5th string just a little bit. Now you can really hear that wah, 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 wah. So now I know that I need to tighten the 5th string to bring it up to that pitch. Now with this method, what's nice is that it's easy to have those two pitches ringing out, so you can actually turn it and hear it while you're doing it. After it's been ringing for a second, you want to pick it again, just to make sure you can hear it and that you're getting the correct pitch. Slightly flat, I can hear. So I turn just a little more. That sounds pretty good. Now, if we compare that to the other method, sounds like the same pitch to me. So, like I said before, as long as your intonation is set up correctly on your guitar, this method works. It's always worked well for me. All right, so moving on, we do the same thing. We go to the 5th fret of the 5th string now, and we compare that harmonic to the 7th fret of the 4th string. Moving on to the 4th string, 5th fret, to the 7th fret of the 3rd. Now, when we go from the 3rd to the 2nd string, just like before, we have to alter how we do this. So now this one is quite a bit different. We are going to go to the 7th fret of the 6th string, and then the 12th fret of the 2nd string. And then for the 1st to the 2nd string, you can do it one of two ways. You can go back to the 5th fret of the 2nd string and then the 7th fret of the 1st. Or you can do the 7th fret of the 5th string to the 12th fret of the 1st string. And that is the way that I personally prefer to do it. All right, I hope that helps you out with being able to tune the guitar by ear. It does take some practice to get it down. I've had a lot of students when I teach them how to do this that they get really frustrated, that they're really having difficulty, and then they just want to go back to just using their electric tuner. So this is how I recommend. Just like anything else, you need to practice it. So if you pick up your guitar and it's out of tune, try this method to tune it, and don't throw in the towel really quick. Spend 5 minutes trying to do it. If you can't do it, then go ahead and grab your tuner, tune it up, and move on with your life. The next time you go to practice, do the same thing. And so that way each time you're spending 5 minutes or so working on how to tune, and before long you'll be able to do it. It'll be like nothing for you to be able to tune that way. If you're a performing artist and stuff, you're on stage and all of a sudden, oh no, the battery's dead in my tuner. This is a way that you can hurry and just tune the guitar up and get it, really, get it close. Get it to where it sounds good. Playing it. There's nothing that sounds worse than playing out of tune. You could be the best guitar player in the world. If your guitar's out of tune, it just isn't going to sound good. All right, so if you like the video, leave me a comment, leave me a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, and until next time.